guys, so it's finally that time of the year again. You finally got your UW Golden ticket to attend the University of Washington, but now you got to wait for the housing application to open. And oh my gosh, it doesn't open until May, unless it's changed for 2018. But anyways, here I'll show you guys what it looked like for me when I applied and how it'll more than likely still look like for you guys, whether you're applying for any of the North Campus, West Campus dorms, or even the on-campus apartments. So let's get to it, and I'll go through with you guys on how the application looks. Okay, so first you guys are going to want to go open Explorer or Chrome, whatever you use, and look up My HFS UW. And it should look like this. Click the first link provided. And then from there, you will look for the little bed icon that says apply. And then when you go on it, it'll pop up saying live with us. Once you click that, depending on your situation, if you're an undergraduate student or a graduate student, you select whatever applies to you. But here I'm going to be going through the undergraduate student one. And so once it takes you to this page, the first thing you're going to need to do is fill out your HFS student profile. And as you can see here, I've already submitted mine, but I'll be going through with you guys on each of the bullet points down here. So the first one is the personal contact information. And so it looks like this. It'll ask you basically for your name, and then it should have your UW Net ID, your UW email, your birthday, and then it'll ask you if you're married or if you have any kids. The next one is your guest authorization, basically, so they can see if they can contact your parents, and your parents can see if you've been making your payments for your dorm and your dining account. And then finally, the last one is your emergency contact information. So if anything bad were to happen to you, which hopefully never does, they at least know that there's somebody that they can contact in case of an emergency. And so you just put their contact information, and that is the end for your HFS profile. But we're not done just yet. We still actually have to get to the real application. So you guys are going to want to scroll down to where it says early fall start, apartments, and residential halls. I'm going to go through the residential hall one since that's the most common one for freshmen. And so it's going to talk about the terms of application first, basically understanding to cancel before a certain time without getting charged a fine, and making sure you do your housing and dining payments on time. So you guys can pause the video whenever you guys like, but I'm going to just go right along. The next part is basically asking you if you want to be part of an academic recognition program, and then they want to know how you found out about the undergraduate housing application. Next is the winter break housing. So they're going to ask you about if you're going to need housing for the winter, so you click yes or no. The next thing is a living and learning community, where they basically put students of the same major on the same floor so you guys can have a more learning community. And then afterwards, the gender neutral rooms, that's mainly for apartments. This doesn't really apply to dorms because girls are in their own separate room and boys are in their own separate room. The next thing is substance-free rooms. So nobody smokes, nobody drinks, which leads to the next one where they ask you if you smoke and if you are okay living with someone who smokes or not. Finally is the roommate one. So if you have somebody, a friend in mind that you want to stay with, make sure you get their ID number so their name can pop up down there, and so you guys can be matched together. Make sure any of the questions before you answer them the same, because if you don't, they will separate you. And so that's that. I found my roommates actually through an app called School App. We met there and we actually got along, but I'll talk about that in another video so you guys can move on with the application. And now, finally, to the fun part. In this part, it's going to show you the prices of all the different dorms on North Campus, West Campus, and some of the residential apartments. And so, 1 through 10, 1 being your favorite, 10 being your least favorite, you list the dorms that you like to stay in. Now, even though you may be listing some of the West or North or apartments and you don't want to live in those spots, they'll more than likely still pick your top 5 dorms. And then afterwards, it'll ask you whether you're interested in living in a triple, a double, or a single dorm. And then afterwards, you're gonna choose your dining level account. And so then for that, it'll ask you how you'll be paying for your dorm and your dining account, which does give you the option to use your financial aid. And then afterwards, for the most long, excruciating part, the housing agreement. Now, it'll be different depending if you're doing the 9-month one or the 12-month one, but it's usually just the same. And some of the stuff that is in this one does also talk about the apartments, but it's so long that I'm not going to go through with it, you guys. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom. Now, finally, for this part, I'll just ask you if you understand the agreement that they'll be making for the residential dorms. And then also, if you're under 18, you do have to do a cosigner form. So I am 17, so I also had to do that, but it wasn't that bad. And then finally, afterwards, it'll explain to you about cancellations depending on different time frames. You'll have to pay different types of fees. But afterwards, you finally get to sign it and you can finally submit it. And so you're done. Hey guys, so it's finally that time of the year again. You finally got your UW Golden ticket to attend the University of Washington, but now you got to wait for the housing application to open. And oh my gosh, it doesn't open until May, unless it's changed for 2018. But anyways, here I'll show you guys what it looked like for me when I applied and how it'll more than likely still look like for you guys, whether you're applying for any of the North Campus, West Campus dorms, or even the on-campus apartments. So let's get to it and I'll go through with you guys on how the application looks.